Yo, 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 everybody. We're back at it here.
Oh, baby, welcome back to Talking Dirty with Nana.
Got a great
Marty,
show here.
I think we got a special one on our hands today. I think today is it's gonna be a great pod. I know the people have been wanting. I don't know, me and Dylan have been going back and forth for a little while. Spoiler alert, Dylan's our guest today. Some of you may recognize him as the reigning, defending, undisputed champion for Nana's Glory, Dylan Chisholm. But
And
where
more
the hell is
importantly,
Dylan? Where the hell is
I'm
Dylan?
doing well. Thank you guys for having me. Thank you. I wanted to make sure that it was clear that Nana was on screen more than me because it's something that Hugo will literally never possess. So I just want him staring it right in the eyes for the next about 35 minutes while I just casually talk about my winnings, my current championship, and my plans for the future.
Well, welcome, Dylan. I love it too.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Hopefully it's true what you say about Hugo not winning a championship, but
Well, as far as I'm concerned right now, looking at the standings, he's in sixth place and dragging his feet. Yes, he beat me, but that was all part of the plan because me winning this year just doesn't do me any favors. So as far as I'm concerned, I was fine with him beating me.
Dylan is the process, people. Dylan is the process. But he's right now he's champ. Right now he's champ. Can't deny that from him. He had a hell of a run last season. So congrats, champ. What are we staring at here? We got a little Adam Thielen doll.
Oh yeah, Adam Thielen, Funko Pop, just staring at you guys. I figured he'd be my guest representative.
Matt,
And then he's standing on top of a beautiful King Julius. In case you're wondering, it's an expensive beer, and I use my winnings from fantasy to pay for the case of beer, something Hugo will literally never know what it feels like. So I made sure that that was on there as well. And then I put the little goat hat just as a nice little touch to just let you guys know that I won.
All right. I love it. I love it. Shout out to Maddie Daddy Batty Boy. Somewhere he is alone in his bedroom staring at that Adam Thielen Funko Pop. I know it.
yeah, if Matt heard you call that a doll, Hugo. He might lose the shit a little bit. So
it may have slipped in the intro there. But Dylan, I know I've been wanting you on for a little while because me and you are active in the chat. I think you're a fun guy to chat with, man.
I'm a big believer of personal rivalries. It's got to be always friendly, but I think at the same time too, little rubs every now and then is good, and it kind of just turns heads. You know, it gets the people talking, gets them looking. Our matchup, I mean, granted, this year with my team, how it is was not exactly a blockbuster of a matchup, but nonetheless, it gets people engaged and curious to see what's going to happen next. If anything, because of last week, it gets people even more engaged for this podcast to kind of see what we're going to talk about.
Hell yeah. I love it. This man came with a plan, ready to go. Yes, Dylan, I enjoy nothing more than to beat you and Coco in personal matchups every single time. It just makes me so happy in life. So I know you're rebuilding right now, and my team was just an absolute runaway train this week.
We're gonna do a little word association if you don't mind, real quick though.
Let's see it.
So when you hear three names, myself, Dylan, Brian, Hugo, which of the three stands out amongst the other two? Or which one stands out from the three? The answer is Hugo, because who has championships? Me and Brian. Who doesn't? Well, that's the third man, Hugo. So just saying. So you may get some pride. You know what? You win in week 8 of fantasy. Whoop-de-doo. Enjoy. You beat Brian
rights, bro.
6. Who cares? If you lose in the first round of the championship, guess what?
You're only as good as your previous loss or win.
That's not true at all.
Right now, I am better than you. Right now, I am better than you.
Stare deep into Nana's glory. Steep deep into her glory.
I want her so bad.
I know you do. I hope you stare deep into her.
I just want to rub her.
Yeah, well, good luck. I even dusted her off and everything just for you.
It's gonna be a fight for you, Hugo, to take her home.
Yeah,
she doesn't want to go.
She doesn't want to go. Trust me, I've talked to her many nights. She does not want to
go. I love it. I love it, Dylan.
We'll get into it though. I mean, a lot happened in the NFL today. Just what's the trade deadline? So maybe we can kind of dive right in, kind of speak about how some teams might have changed from the trade activity that happened today.
Absolutely, boys. I think it was a big day for the freaking fantasy league today. So let's get into it. Just some guys. Wait one sec. But what was Dylan? What was your biggest move today? Who'd you get surprised by?
I Nobody specifically on my team. I actually like Roquan Smith going to Baltimore. Believe it or not, I'm big on the non-skilled positions and trying to maximize
Dylan's
the
a
strength.
football guy. He goes straight for the defense. I like this.
No, but if you break it down, you start 10 players, what, right? 10, 2, 2, 3, whatever, 7. So you start 11 players on a roster. If you can lock down quarterback, defense, kicker, IDP, there's 4 of your 11. That's about plus or minus, let's say, a third of your team. You have the best at those 4. Any given week, you're going to maximize the amount of points that you can have at that point. So, yes, don't get me wrong, Roquan Smith's not going to drop 40 points, but there's nothing worse than when you start your IDP player and he gets 2 points.
The
That can
worst.
destroy you.
I
You start like Matt got lucky this past week. The Raiders defense got him 2.5 points. That can sometimes swallow a team whole in a matchup. So I'd like Roquan Smith going to Baltimore. I think that'll be a good fit for him. A little nervous, even more so about Melvin. Melvin's my boy. He's a champion. He carried me to the glory last year. But I don't love Chase Edmonds going to that
Chase
backfield.
Edmonds, huh?
They didn't give away anybody, so it's even more like mouths to feed in that running room or a running back like room. So I don't. That
I
just
think
tells
it's
me
still Latavius Murray there too.
yeah, exactly. And Mike Boone, I'm not sure how long his injury's for, but they, for whatever reason,
Fuck
wanted to
Mike
keep
Boone.
featuring
Everyone
him.
knows why.
Yeah, I agree with that. But that just proves to me that they're trying to flush Melvin Gordon out of there as fast as possible. So I wouldn't be surprised if by like week 12 you start to just see him honestly become like a healthy scratch. Yeah, especially if he fumbles again. If he fumbles again, I think that Melvin's toast, and he's not exactly.
He gets cut. He
He
gets
might be
cut.
the worst fumbler in the league right now. He's just absolutely notorious. But
Yeah, to the point that if you watch any Denver game, they're not even putting him out there in any kind of even somewhat clutch situation because they don't trust him to hold on to the ball. So that kills me. And unfortunately, I think that I was relying on Melvin doing something like he did last year. And when Javonte went down, I was even more optimistic. But I'm not optimistic on Gordon at all this year.
I wouldn't be either. That's why I know you keep trading him or offering me in a trade, and I just can't ever get myself to do it.
Oh, I've been offering him to almost every single team, almost every single week, just trying to see it, just trying to catch somebody on the right side of horny. We've all been on the right side of horny in fantasy.
Yeah.
You get that tingle, and you're like, "Oh, baby, you know what? Screw it, let's do it." I'm gonna get somebody eventually.
Hugo is 24/7 horny about fantasy football. Don't get him
Yeah.
on that trade talk.
Oh yeah, no, the fantasy horniness is real. It's a legitimate, it's a disease. And
It's a
honestly,
big
I don't
time
want the medicine.
disease.
I don't want the medicine for it.
How about I'll raise a question. Two players traded today. Claypool from Steelers to the Bears, and then Hawkinson from Lions to Vikings. How do you think that impacts Alex's team as far as the trade movement? Positive, negative? What do you guys think?
I am so team Alex after today's trade deadline. It's not even funny. I think Chase Claypool moving is my favorite deal of the day. I think him and Justin Fields could get going. And that's going to be electric. And I'm just very excited for Chase Claypool. And that just frees up George Pickens too. So Matt should be pretty excited about that move as well. And what was the other one that happened? Hawkinson. Freaking Irv Smith is dead. I don't know what to do with him. I'm shook. But shout out Alex because I think Hawkinson on that offense is going to be electric. Hopefully it revitalizes him and just another player Alex could start.
See,
Yeah.
I'm going to completely disagree with Hugo, which is why I'm the champion and he's not. But because I think Hawkinson's screwed. I think Hawkinson, he went from being pretty much from a target share standpoint, I'd say number 2 on that team behind St. Brown.
I think
And
he's
even
number
then-
2 over here when Thielen isn't having the game.
Realistically, he could drop as far down to, I'd say, 4 or 5. And because you got to factor in Dalvin Cook out of the backfield warrants a decent amount of share. Jefferson obviously is the dog there, but Thielen and KJ Osborne's not necessarily just going to disappear from that team either. And if you look at Kirk Cousins' history with tight ends, he doesn't feed tight ends very well. So I don't necessarily think that Hawkinson's going to be all of a sudden just feasting that offense. You still have to consider every other player that's there. Yes, Irv Smith went down, but it doesn't mean that all of a sudden Hawkinson's going to be dropping 30 bombs left and right. I think if anything, he's screwed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when I was looking at that trade, I wasn't really too excited about it either. Not saying that he's screwed or anything like that, but I think you're just gonna keep seeing what you've already seen with him as a Lion, which is just he'll have good games and then he's just a boomer bust tight end right now,
He's very boomer bust.
and same with Claypool. I don't think even with I mean
Nah, dude, I'm you got to be excited. What about Claypool, Dylan?
I couldn't be less excited. I think that he's also screwed in Chicago. Justin Fields, that guy, I can throw the ball lefty farther than that guy can throw the ball righty with accuracy. That
Marty,
guy,
you like him?
that guy
Dude,
stinks.
that offense is unpredictable, dude. That offense they can throw up goose eggs. I mean, they did well against the Pats there, but that was mostly because Fields was just running all over us. I'm if I'm Alex, both those trades don't really mean much for me, if I'm being honest. But
Yeah, I even with Kenny Pickett throwing the ball in Philadelphia and Pittsburgh to Claypool, I think that him going to Chicago is not a good recipe. And Chicago is still identity wise just a run first team, anyways. And especially with Herbert heating up as he is, and Montgomery's still a factor in that field in that backfield too. So I don't love Chase over there.
moving on, we'll move on. But moving on to running backs, another two trade activities. I don't know how you guys feel about these ones here, but I'm a little bit more excited about these trades. But Jeff Wilson to the Dolphins, San Fran to Dolphins, and then Naheem Hines going to Buffalo from Indy. So, I
Yeah.
mean, I think. Go ahead, Hugo. I'll let you go.
The Dolphins move. Mike McDaniels, the head coach over there, is literally just remaking the 49ers offense that he had when he was the coordinator over there last season. Just bringing Mostert, bringing Jeff Wilson, just retreading these guys. So, hey, they know the offense, so they should be able to click right away. But it's just more of a split time field now, backfield over there, just like it is in Denver. Just so many backs, not enough. No one guy is carrying the ball. And I am excited for Naeem Hines, just because I think he is an electric player. And maybe with Buffalo, he could catch on, but it's going to be tough to beat out Singletary still, I think.
Yeah, I think Naheem Hines is going to fit that offense pretty well. I mean, he's a receiving running back there. That offense loves to throw the ball. So,
Unfortunately, I think that's another knock on Alex's team too, right? Because doesn't he have James Cook? So
yeah, that's true. Like that was another
shits
good
Cook
point.
down because I actually liked Cook as like a kind of second half darling, and now it's like, well, I guess that's not going to be in the plans.
He was always ahead of Zach Moss over there too, though. So it was always like he was at least the number 2, but now he's definitely the 3.
Yeah, and it's funny because I look at Alex's team, and I mean it's a bad team. But you look at the names on the team, and it should be better than it is. You know what I mean? Like it's not like he's playing. Like look at my team compared to Alex's team. My team stinks. At least he has some names of value.
Name players, Dylan. Name players who you really hate on his team.
That I hate on his team. Let's start right at the top. Marcus Mariota, what a bum. But then you scroll down, like Rondale Moore. He loves starting Rondale Moore, and that's an eyesore. Keep scrolling. I mean, honestly, the rest of it though, I like Hawk. I like Olave. I mean, Claypool, I'm not big on now, but in the sense of like, I would still start him if I had him. I mean, Williams has been a stud so far this year, and then even down to his defensive players and kicker, I think it's fine. His depth is not good. I'm not really one to talk either.
You're not one to talk either.
I think Wandale is he's got some long-term promise. Yeah. I hope.
I like Wandale a lot. I'm a big Wandale Robinson fan, so I think. And then he's got the Muth on a bye too. Obviously, tight end depth. He's good at.
Yeah, Alex has got good tight ends. I'll say
that. He has depth per se. It's just not good depth.
Now with the whole James Cook situation, I think now his starting position here, like for fantasy wise, is just going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot more delayed. So it's not really going to be starting him for another couple of years now. It seems like, unless there's injuries or whatever. But
I think the tough part too is realistically the odds of if he has 5 young running backs on his bench, the chances of 3 of those 5 being out of the league in 3 years is very high. So it's such a gamble,
Yeah.
So let's talk about the guys that you start, because your team still puts up points, more than Alex's for sure, more than Alex's. No, sure. They still put up points, but give me your thoughts on your lineup this year, Dylan. how you feel about it. Obviously, Jalen Hurts is having the real MVP type season. So I like the overall nickname that you gave him here, Dylan. Just your thoughts on my boy here.
Yeah, I love Jalen. I think if any player is untouchable on my team,
He is your
I
future.
mean, again, I get that trade horny like you read about. So you catch me in the right mood, and Hurts is going bye bye. But as far as untradeable, he's about as untradeable as it gets on my team. I mean, obviously my running backs stink. I'm just throwing darts there, but I hope to rebuild in the draft next year. I mean, I don't mind my wide receivers. Cooks and Renfro, they've been disappointments this year, but they've had some longevity in the league so far. Ertz has been sneaky, very consistent this year. He's a little bit older, but he's just putting up consistent 15 to 16 points every week, which goes a long way. Same with Thielen. Thielen's been all right. Duvernay's actually been sneaky pretty good.
He has been sneaky pretty good.
There's something about him I don't trust. Like, I hate that I have to play him, but then he drops 20 points, and I love that I played him. So he's one of those guys. Tyler Boyd.
Bateman's hurt.
Say that again?
It's because Bateman's hurt. So he's going to have some opportunities because Bateman's going to go away for a couple weeks.
Correct. Exactly. And then Mark Andrews has his injury too, so not really sure what his status is. So target share will open up with him.
I want your thoughts on Tom Brady. I want your what's your plan for him? Just hold him till he retires?
Have him retire and then cut him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I'm not gonna lie, I would pick him up and then drop him just so I could say he retired on my team.
Which I want to propose.
I'll do that till the end of the world against anybody. I don't care.
I want to propose something that's never been done on this podcast before in history. I want to propose a live trade. Tom Brady for a third rounder of any year to either of you guys.
That's all you, Hugo.
Not doing it.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
We'll try again in 5 minutes.
I'll give you a third for Tua, though. I'll give you a third for Tua.
Yeah, I'm sure you would.
So, hey, remember, you said no.
Yeah, I will happily remember.
Just let's talk about your depth here, Dylan. I think Slayton is sneaky good again. Shout out to Coco for dropping him and actually trading for him way back then.
Yeah, he traded for him and he gave away I think it was Renfro in 2/3 for him, which ironically I have Renfro because I think it was who was it that dropped him?
It was me. I definitely dropped him. That's right. Yeah.
So yeah, I like Slayton as a he's 25 years old as just a depth piece. I thought it was a good pickup on my end.
Yeah, again, good depth.
I can't wait till Julio Jones retires. I'm done with him.
Yes, I am so happy. Every time I look at your team and I see Julio Jones, I just laugh. It's so good.
I hope you laugh because remember last year he was a champion.
He was. He has a ring. I don't.
Yep. So just keep that in mind. You can keep laughing at the man, but he's a champion. And as far as I'm concerned, I look at Justin Herbert and I think one word: loser.
Yeah. I'd like to propose another trade.
I'm sure you would. You're not taking Dulcich. Dulcich, that guy is
he's electric.
He runs clumsy like Gronk and like Travis Kelce.
He's electric.
The clumsy running tight ends after they catch the ball and just dart through people. A lot of promise. That guy screams just top 3 tight end for the next 10 years, and I can't wait.
Yeah, he's very promising. I'd be very excited about him. Dylan, just your overall thoughts on the standings right here. We're looking at the bottom 5, 5 through 10. Just your overall thoughts of how people are clumped up and just you and Alex at the bottom there.
So, because my mindset on this year has been, I've been really mainly following myself, Matt, Vinny, and Steve because I own their first rounders. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm just rooting for all 4 of us, myself included, to lose as much as possible to maximize my odds. So I like the fact that Matt is 2-6 and that there's you, Marty, in between Hugo and actually there's a good game in between 5 through 8 right now. So that way it gives me some wiggle room if Matt continues to win. Hopefully, honestly, you guys keep winning too. So that way it keeps him suppressed down because that betters my odds from a high draft pick standpoint. Yeah. I hate the fact that Alex's team sucks so bad because I'd love him to rattle off a couple wins to jump me and to jump Matt. So that way we can fall down to 9 and 10 so I can get those picks. So Alex, if you're watching this, please pull out a couple of wins just for pride's sake. Don't suck so bad.
This man has a plan. I love it.
Well, Dylan, Alex has a chance next week. He's got a huge matchup against Matt. So please
for the love of God, pull out the victory. Don't croak over and die. You're too invested in this. Don't croak over and die on us.
I love it. I love it.
Come on, Alex. We believe.
I think of those bottom 6 teams, that honestly the team to look out for is Steve's team. I think he's heating up, and he has a lot of depth. Hugo's shaking his head, but that's why you're going to stay in the bottom. I
Oh
think
my God, dude.
Steve, you got to look out for him. I think if his guys, like, think about it, he's doing what he's doing right now. He's 5-3. He had a tough start to the year, but he's pretty much doing what he's doing without Connor and without Najee Harris, who's been terrible this year.
Bums.
So I think if the two of them can actually even just come back to pseudo relevancy, just to give him depth as the season progresses along, you got to watch out for Steve. So that's kind of shitty for my standpoint, because I have his first pick. But on the flip side too, I mean, it is what it is. You got to watch out for him.
Yeah, it is what it is. Steve beat me head to head, and that is why he is one spot over me in the standings. So I got to give him his dues.
A lot of people have beat you head to head.
Yeah, you could say that. At least 4 people this year. Dylan, real quick, just because I'm wearing his jersey. This man is your daddy. What he did to you this past weekend, 3 touchdowns. What do you have to say about that? Because me and you were texting back and forth during that game.
Yeah, I'm glad that he dropped a bomb on me, because it kept me in 9th place. So I still have the number 2 overall pick next year's draft. So as far as I'm concerned, I was going all googly eyes all over it, because it was still Hurts benefiting from it. But you were suppressing me down. Keep it going, baby. Keep it going.
I love this talk. He's literally whispering sweet nothings into my ear right now. Let's flip it around, Dylan. Talk about the top. Who do you like
Brian's team
going forward?
Brian's team scares the shit out of me. That is such a good team, and it's been honestly a good team
It's
since
McCaffrey,
the inception
man.
of the league.
McCaffrey
I
scares
think
the
it's
shit out of
something
you.
about Brian's team. Brian and I had a little rivalry like when it first started, but then I just decided to just open up a can of hell on you, Hugo. So as far as I'm concerned, Brian is in my good graces, and I love his team. I hope he wins, because that's benefits me next year, and just to that would kind of be cool to have a 2-peat champion and Hugo wouldn't win. So I think there's a lot of benefits to Brian winning this year. So if you listen to this, Brian, keep it up, buddy. Love you, and I hope I see you in the championship again one day.
All right. What a shout out there. I'm starting to believe some other owners are low key in cahoots in this league.
I don't know about cahoots, but people are invested in other people's failures. So
Yeah. Here, Marty, give me a quick rundown on Coco's team. What scares you about him?
yeah, I mean, it's obvious that Brian's got a good team. He's got Kelsey and a lot of good depth on his team, and there is no tight end like Kelsey. So just having that one player,
What a
is
savage still, dude.
freaking beast. But no, I think even Foreman is going to be in for good weeks ahead.
Tyreek Hill's the best receiver in
killing
football
it.
this year.
Still killing it. Yeah, honestly, Miami, they put up points. I'm not too excited about Juju. Algier, hopefully good days are ahead of him. But Kenyon Drake has been turning it on too lately. So
Mixon not been good. Not been good.
I mean, he's still been okay. He just hasn't been
Lights out, yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't been lights out. But one thing, I mean,
this guy's the scariest man in fantasy football right now. I didn't think Christian McCaffrey would be this good on the Niners. I knew obviously good, but what he just did last game was crazy. You guys see that?
They needed him to
Yeah, the
step up.
trifecta.
Unbelievable. First guy since Daniel Tomlinson to throw, catch, and pass one.
I think it was like
Throw, catch, receive. Sorry.
throw,
run, catch. Yeah, there it is.
run, catch. And it was like 30 yards and a touchdown in each. So pretty good to break that record at least.
Yeah, but what do you guys think about the depth on Coco's team? Do you think he's a little top heavy too?
No, I
I
think
personally don't.
if Brian has any sort of injuries, like even if like McCaffrey went down, I still think he's still got a good team. He's got players to fill holes, and I mean
Kirk Cousins has been good this year.
Yeah, I would say if it is one position of weakness, it's in like you just said, Hugo. I agree that Kirk's been really solid this year, but it's maybe quarterback because he's got Kirk and Matt Stafford, who's really had a tough year. Again, it's nitpicking because I don't look at it as like overall weak. It's just compared to his other positions, it stands out as maybe there's some area of growth there.
Yeah. I think he needs wide receivers personally. After Tyreek Hill, I don't know who he's got.
Yeah, Brian could probably package a couple players for like a top wide receiver, but I don't know.
Call
if
me
he's
Brian.
doing that.
If
I
you're
got
listening,
4
I'd
top
love
20
a
guys.
first rounder. I've got plenty of young receivers that are chomping at the bit for the prize. So, first rounder, please.
Are you targeting any one of these first rounder right now, or just anything? That
Both of you guys that I'm talking to, ideally Brian's. Jorge's is on the table. I know I'd love to get that one off his hands. And Brendan's. Outside of that, I have everybody else's. So if any of you guys would love to donate a first rounder, I'll
Well,
give you
Coco
one.
has his own and Brendan's.
Yeah, isn't that in 2025? Or is that
No,
next year?
It's
Oh, it is
actually
next
next year and 24.
Yeah, true. No, yeah. Brian and I control
Brendan,
60%
what
of
an
the first
idiot.
round next year. So it's going to be interesting to see how that rolls because Brian and I have 60% of the first round. Now, I'm hoping that Brian continues and Brendan continues to be successful this year because that'll push Brian to the back half of next year's draft, which helps me. But we'll see. We'll see. And what's keep in mind, too, I also have Alex's second rounder next year. So as far as I'm concerned, that's 11 overall right now. So I have 5 top 11 picks next year.
That would be pretty good, Dylan. And that is the process right there. If I were doing what you were doing, after you win a championship and you blow it up, I think it's a courageous thing to do. But if you have the draft capital that you've acquired, all the power to you because you're doing it right. Kind of like what Marty did this year. He had a quick reset. He went all the way to the bottom and freaking he's having a way better year than last year. Still not as good a year as I know he wishes he's had.
Yeah. Injuries
think
happen, obviously. You can't really predict them, but there's a lot of teams that are getting beat up, so I don't want to make any excuses. But it's I think this draft definitely helped my team a whole lot in a lot of different ways. So with Dylan, you can say what you want about his depth right now, but come next year, it's going to be a completely different beast, and we'll just see if you can hit on a few picks. I think your team can
hit on the picks.
Yeah, I calculated out the math. The past few drafts that we've had outside of like the first year's draft, right? It's about a 71% hit rate in the first round of somebody actually being like still fantasy relevant today. So I'm like, okay, realistically, if I have 5 of 11, I have better odds that at least 3 of those 5 should hit for me, which you have 3 guys that you can service into your lineup. That's a good chunk of people. So I'm optimistic.
Yeah, I definitely would be. I mean, if I've learned anything from the last draft, dude, it's those top picks, man. They're totally worth it. If somehow you can get your hands on them, consider making those moves.
Yep, that's the approach.
Big names, especially a running back, man. There's a lot of good ones. Even when people were saying there's kind of a dry draft last year, there's pretty solid running backs. Me, Brennan, got a couple of them, but
why do you think I've been throwing out a first rounder like wide open? I'm not even freaking hiding it for an RB. Do you think is it because people are still like trying to get in and it's not like that time yet to sell the RB, or because it's so tough to get another one that you don't want to give it up?
I think you're just asking for running backs that are worth more than one draft pick.
Happy to give more. I'm starting at a first. Come talk.
Yeah, I guess, if you have good talent on your team, you don't want to trade them away. So at least that's where I'm at.
Yeah, so it's more the latter. It's just tougher to get it back when you do it.
To Dylan's point, you can draft a bust with that pick. If you have a player that's, startable now that may be good for years, why take the chance at a draft pick when you already have something that you're confident in?
Exactly.
Dylan, I want you to go through my team. Tell me what's wrong with it.
All of it. Let's start right at the top. Justin Herbert, that guy hasn't done shit. I mean, I can't even shit on Ramondre. I like that guy. Aaron Jones, he's going to be out of the league in 2 years. I can't hate on AJ Brown. I do like Waddle as well.
He's your daddy.
Higbee, that guy blows. T. Higgins, he has really not. He's been more of a name so far this year. Dobbs, I don't have to say anything. Same with Mooney. And then let's scroll down a little bit. The fact that you beat me, but the fact that you had to start Sam Ellinger.
I beat you with Sam Ellinger because my team's so much better than yours. He scored 7 points.
But I want you to I hope that you literally just sit on the pot. Hopefully your pot has a mirror in front of it and you just look yourself in the eyes and say, I had to start Sam Ellinger because I literally didn't have anybody better to play.
Yeah.
That should tell you exactly why you're 4-4 and sliding backwards. And then your depth is concerning.
2-game win streak.
I hope that Terrence Marshall finds this league and puts a restraining order against you. Elijah Moore, that guy has no desire. It's same with Cam Akers. They don't even want to play for their own teams because of you.
Facts.
And then
Facts.
Jones, that guy stinks. I really like Brandon Ayuk. I wish that I made a more aggressive trade from a couple years ago when he was sucking.
You have first rounders to sell.
Well,
Come get them.
I'm sure you'd love some first rounders. Let me just give you mine and Matt's while we're at it. And then
Just one first rounder, your choice, and I'll give them to you right now.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. And then Mike Williams, that guy usually has 3 games that totals about 80% of his entire season points. So that guy's I hate him.
Look how boomer bust he is. This is kind of gross.
Yeah.
Go look at this from 328, 8, 24, 29, 3. It's like
that's
so
that's
up
a
and
guy
down.
who'll win you a week and he will lose you a week. And guess what you're going to finish as? 6th place overall, no champion. That guy is the definition of he will lose a league for you.
I like it.
And I mean, your IR guys deserve to stay there.
He's dead. Irv Smith is dead.
What's your opinion on Javonte Williams? I need to know right now. Where's your concern at?
I'll take some first for him.
Oh, you're looking to move him along, push him out.
I'm honestly, this is breaking news. I'm more open to trading Javonte Williams than I've ever been before because I need a running back that's win now. I would include Javonte Williams in a deal.
What if I gave you Melvin Gordon in a 2nd rounder in 24?
Nah. There's no first.
Javonte Williams is going to be out of the league in 3 years.
All right,
the Broncos are sucking. The Broncos are going to draft Bijan Robinson next year, and then guess what? Javonte doesn't have a job.
Yeah. Hey, what's your thoughts on Steve's favorite player, Garrett Wilson?
I heard about some blasphemy trade that you were trying to offer him that I really hope you just, after this podcast, hop in the shower and stay there for an hour. Because
Ooh, do tell. What is that blasphemous trade?
It was. I don't even feel like sharing it on this podcast because I don't want other people to also feel like
doesn't sound like there was ever a trade at all.
It was just so filthy and grimy. I'm taking my shirt off. My shirt's off. I just feel gross.
I don't know what's up with people lately and sending terrible trade offers, but I've definitely gotten like
shout out
a handful of them. Vinny, I won't go into details of who, but a lot of bad trade offers. I don't know if people are just getting a little excited because they're hearing the trade deadline and they want to move players right now, but I don't know.
I know my team is bad because Vinny hasn't really sent me any offers this year, and he usually always does, which makes me realize I have no players of desire at all. It's kind of sad, but we'll see what it looks like next year.
We'll see. Anything else you wanted to add? Any questions for us, Dylan? Any questions for us? We got just under 5 minutes here.
All right. So give me your prediction for the championship matchup this year. What do you think it's going to look like? And then I got a follow-up side question to that after that.
All right. I think there's a bracket. Yeah, let's see it. All right. Of the people that are in the playoffs, sorry, Marty, you didn't make the cut. If I could go by the matchup right now, I think Coco is going to end up either the 1 or the 2 seed and have that bye. Vinny's team, it's still good. But when Lamar isn't on, it does take a notch down because his wide receivers, I don't think, have shown up or they've mostly been hurt. So I think I could see myself, obviously, and Coco in the championship because Coco does have a good team.
That's just horrifically insane. But Marty, you're up.
I was going to say that's Hugo Pickett himself to be in the championship is the least surprising thing that I've heard.
I have confidence
so
in
far.
myself.
You can make it to the championship, but
when you have a guy like AJ Brown, anything can happen.
Yeah, AJ Brown's another guy. He'll get you 4 points 1 week and just absolutely blow you.
I'm just going to keep it at the top because I do think they're clearly the better teams in the league right now. But I think there'll be a repeat winner this year. It'll be a Brian and Vinny matchup, and anything goes in the championship. But Brennan probably will make the playoffs. He'll fall a little bit short like he always does. And then it's going to fall to Brian and Vinny in the championship.
Dylan, how about you?
I personally think it's going to be Brian and Jorge because I think that Jorge's team still, yes, Chase is out right now, but I think he'll be back in time for fantasy playoff purposes.
It's
You still
feisty.
have to look at that team. I question some of his like just
There's Josh Allen.
managerial decisions. But like last week, him starting a couple of players over like an Antonio Gibson or something like that, a little bit questionable, but nonetheless. But I think Brian, Jorge, and I actually going to go with Jorge as a first time champion. So that's my vote.
All right.
Now, my side follow up that's unrelated to the standings is, who do you guys think is going to be the second half fantasy darling at any position?
Marty, you take it away.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna toot my own horn here a little bit here, but I think Ken Walker is really going to continue to do well. So he's now getting his opportunity to play for Seattle, who's doing surprisingly well, way better than anyone ever expected. And that offense is clicking, and they don't really have another option at running back besides like DJ Dallas, who's not getting much work. So I'm excited to have him on my team. I know McCaffrey's like an easy candidate to say, but I would say I'm pretty happy for Walker having him on my team for the rest of the season.
There you go. I've been impressed by 2 wide receivers this year. I think Tyreek Hill could get 2,000 yards. He's on pace to do it right now, which is crazy. I think Tyreek Hill can do it. And shout out Marty. I think Stephon Diggs has been awesome this year.
I have one more I'm going to throw out there. Likely is he's about to turn up right now. I mean, Mark Andrews is going to be out for a little bit there.
No, he's not. He's fine.
Are you sure? But anyways, likely he was having a great game. And if Mark Andrews doesn't play, likely he's going to fill that role. And he already showed that he can do it. So if Mark Andrews does by any chance miss any time, I'd be pretty excited for Vinny if I had likely, but
I think Isaiah Likely is an awesome choice for a second half darling, because I think that guy can play, and I think that he's got chance. He's got potential stud written all over him. So very happy with that choice. I think that's a good choice.
All right, it's about to cut out, folks. Dylan, thank you for finally coming on, champ. Next time I see you, it's on site, bro.
But I can tell you right now, the next time I see you, I won't be handing over this beautiful, gorgeous, sexy-looking trophy to you, because it's going to be going to somebody else happily, and I just hope you just watch from afar.
Well, not going to lie, I kind of hope for that too, but